welcome to night 4. Now the thing about this one is that I'm going to bring this up again, but this is not a joke this time. I actually made some progress, at least in theory, because in theory I did draw in here. There. Now the thing is, it's sort of like a manga book. I started drawing into it from the back to the front, and the reason why is because I'm left-handed, so it's much easier for a left-handed person, like hand like this, to write like that instead of writing on this side first, which is very floppy. Or actually, if you were to use it like a regular book and start from the beginning, and I start drawing on it with my left hand, my hand would be resting on this big flappy bit that doesn't have very much support, and you wouldn't want to put too much pressure on this side anyway. So that's why I started from this side. Makes more sense for me, at least in the short term. So what am I talking about? Well, I did mention I don't want to do puzzles for now while I'm waiting for some springs to come over to my place in the mail. So I want to make something for the Domino's channel, 22 Domino's 22. Now, this is pretty common. It's called the Domino track. No. Domino rack? Domino track? Something like that. I wish I'd remember. Oh, a pivot track. And the point of this is that you set up the dominoes really quickly. That's just 8 dominoes set up almost instantly. And then you're free to just do that. And very quickly set up the domino again. But the thing is, you have to do this bit where you pick up the track and then you have to do the flip to get it to go this way. Instead, what if we could make a machine that would automatically do it for you? Now, I don't have any physical copy of it anymore. It's actually at my work. I do have a hand in making paper machines or paper automata. So you can see maybe a preview of it in the upper right corner. You're going to see it like a little demo, and that's basically what's supposed to be a paper machine of the keyboard cat, except I modified it so it suits more of my work, which is programming or coding, or developer project, or a developer position, and that's involves typing on a keyboard. So I replaced the keyboard cat musical keyboard with an actual keyboard, like a computer keyboard. As well, I've updated the cat and instead used a Minecraft person. I used someone's unique avatar, so I'm sorry about that. Don't know how to credit you. It'll probably be in the credits if I figure out. As well, I added a design on the back of the t-shirt that says, "Won't break a sweat," with a little joke in there for those who are HTML coders. What else? Besides that, the most prominent thing is that it does something. You turn a crank, and then you see some action happen. In this case, someone typing on a keyboard in a weird way. But if you can create something that while you crank it, this automatically resets, it might look something like this. It just flips the track over, and the dominoes flip, and you flip the track back over, and something like that should not happen. Instead, you get the domino set up again, and then it's free to fall over. That's the first bit. The second bit is to animate an actual hand to automatically push it over after some time. That is the thing I'm stuck on. So right here, I've got the preliminary sketch. So you can see, hopefully, that it's upside down. This is how I should hold it. So what we have here is what the track will consist of. You have the track, or the part that holds the dominoes, and you have the actual dominoes themselves, and they're going to be pivoted on this little rectangle over here. As well, this rectangle should be able to flip, so it's going to be on like a spindle or a rod, and that should go onto a base over here. That allows some space. So this is all empty in the middle, so that when the dominoes flip over upside down, they will have a space to fall through or pass through. Of course, there's the crank, but that is quite simple. If you want to have the track actually stop while it's upright, you're going to have to do something a little different and not directly connect the crank to this, because a person typically just keeps cranking and they don't stop without thought about what to do next. Also, finding a way to connect this ghost hand or disembodied hand so that it will occasionally go like that and then reset, it's going to be even more tricky. So that's going to be interesting if you get that whole action with the setup of the dominoes and the toppling of it with the hand using only one rotary or linear rotary motion. No, not linear. One constant rotary motion or action. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to want to not make it out of wood because I have almost no power tools available to me. Instead, I want to 3D print this. Yes. Yeah, there's some other notes. There's this like weird thing called the Geneva Drive, or the oh, there's also another name for it. I can't remember. Something cross. It might come to me. Anyways, when this thing rotates continuously, this thing, this weird cross-like thing, it only rotates 25% of the way around every few moments. So it sort of like rotates 25, hesitates, then another 25, and so on and so forth. So as this rotates, once, this only rotates a quarter of the time. And in a weird way too. But that's pretty much that. I did get these two things. So I did sketch the idea out on that thing using this weird mechanical pencil. But the lead itself is actually not round. So you can see in the cross section right here, hopefully, it's like an oval. So it lets you draw really precise lines and also really thick lines if you draw on the flat side. It's kind of interesting. That I got from a night market. Not too bad. It uses a 2B lead. I tried going on the site, but I could not actually find this model pen or pencil anymore. So it's probably really old, and they just had extra stock. The other thing is I got this eraser that I've been using at school. It's not too bad. It's a Faber-Castell eraser, except you might see how weirdly deformed it is. And that's not so it's easier to erase in small detail. That's because my cat, yes, I have a cat, he chewed it up. He started chewing the ends, and you know what happens with erasers when you start getting a break. Every time you rub it on a piece of paper, the breaks get worse, and eventually you can't even erase anything anymore. The end just rolls. So I just had to break off that end, and you end up with this weird shape on it. So, well, you work with what you have, usually. Well, that's pretty much that. That's vlog number 4. Hopefully I make more progress tomorrow, now that I have a really good idea of what I want to do and what I have enough stuff to work on, or enough stuff to actually do what I want to do, so I don't have to keep waiting for springs. I know a lot of makers out there don't do things serially, which means work on a project, finish it, then work on a new project and finish it. A lot of people like Markiplier, Jazza, or Draw with Jazza, if you will, they work on projects overlappingly, if that makes sense. So you start a project, you work on that, and you also start another project, and somehow they're able to manage their time and complete projects in very quick succession as well, after overlapping those. So hopefully I can do that. Oskar van Deventer also can do that, and does it regularly. But me, myself, I have a job as well, at least as an intern. So it's going to be tricky with the limited amount of time I have at home. But, as always, I'll see what I can do. But for you, thanks for watching, and you should probably go to sleep. Good night.